There's a battle raging inside every man, a war of silence, pain, and unspoken emotions that no one talks. For years, you've been told to lock it all away, to be strong by hiding your truth. But what if real strength comes from breaking that silence? What if your story, your feelings, and your fight to express them are the key to finally being free? This isn't just a story about art. It's a journey into what it really means to be a man who feels, who struggles, and who refuses to stay silent any longer. These 14 steps will take you from hiding behind walls to owning your truth, one powerful moment at a time. Number 1. The silent struggle. If you keep bottling it up, it will destroy you. That isn't some cheap warning meant to scare you. It's reality. We're taught from day one that we're supposed to be strong, unbreakable, immune to pain. But no one tells you the price of that performance. No one tells you what happened. Everything you swallow down, year after year. It doesn't disappear. It sits there like a coiled snake, waiting for the moment you're too tired to hold it back. That moment you say the thing you can't unsay. That night you can't sleep because your thoughts won't shut up. That numb, dead-eyed stare in the mirror when you realize you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Most guys will scroll right past because they don't want to think about it. It's easier to laugh it off, to say it's weak, to change the subject to sports or money or anything that doesn't ask them to look at what's inside. But you didn't scroll, you're here. And that tells me something about you. It tells me there's a part of you that's done pretending everything's okay. A part that knows something has to change before you lose yourself entirely. And I want you to know there's nothing soft about facing your own darkness. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. Because here's the truth no one tells men. The silence isn't strength, it's a prison. Every time you bite your tongue, nod, and say I'm fine when you're screaming inside, you're laying another brick in the walls around your own heart. Eventually, you don't even feel safe with yourself. You can't trust yourself because you know there's something dangerous buried down there. Something you're scared might get out if you ever let your guard down. That's not control. That's fear in a tailored suit. But what if there was another way? What if you didn't have to keep everything locked up until it exploded at the worst possible time? What if you could take that rage, that grief, that confusion, and turn it into something real, something you can see and hold and say, this is mine, I own it. It doesn't own me. That's what I'm going to talk about here. And it's not therapy. It's not some new age crap. It's something men have done for centuries, whether they had the words for it or not. It's art. And before you roll your eyes, let me ask you this. What's the alternative? Keep numbing yourself until you don't feel anything at all. Keep pushing people away because you're too scared they'll see the real you. Or worse, hurt the people you love because you don't know how else to get it out. Drop a comment if you've ever felt like you're carrying too much and you don't know where to put it, because you're not the only one. And if you're still listening right now, you might be closer to a solution you think. Number 2, the cost of bottling up. We're told from the time we're little boys to be tough. Don't cry, don't complain, don't let anyone see you sweat. They tell us man up so often, it's practically in our blood by the time we hit our 20s. We learn to bite our tongues, even when it feels like it might split in half. To hold back tears until our chest physically aches. To keep our faces blank, even when our minds are screaming. And you know what that creates? It creates men who are experts at pretending everything's fine when they're dying inside. No one teaches us what to do with all of that. The anger when someone disrespects us, but we can't fight back. The grief when someone we love lets us down or leaves us behind. The fear that maybe we're not enough. never have been, never will be. So we swallow it all. We hide it behind sarcasm, humor, work, the gym, the bottle. Anything that keeps us from having to admit we're actually in pain. Because we think admitting it means we're weak. But let me ask you this. How is pretending you're fine actually working out? Is it making you a better partner, a better friend, a better son? Or is it making you shut people out when they get too close? Is it making you explode over stupid shit you don't even care about? Is it making you avoid the mirror because you don't want to look yourself in the eyes and see the truth? Because here's the thing. Silence doesn't fix anything. It just buries it until it rots. I know you've felt that moment when you say something so cruel it doesn't even sound like you. The night you drink way too much just to shut your head up for a few hours. The mornings you wake up with that pit in your stomach you can't explain. That's what happens when you hold everything. It comes out anyway, but it chooses when. And it's never when you want it. It's at work with your partner, in front of your kid. You think you're in control, but really, you're a ticking time bomb. And if you're listening to this and thinking, shit, that's me, I want you to know you're not broken. You're normal. You're a man who was taught the wrong lesson about what strength really is. Drop a comment if you know exactly what I'm talking. If you've ever felt like you don't even recognize yourself when you're angry or numb, let's talk about it. Because ignoring this doesn't make you strong. It makes you silent. Play, and silence will kill you if you let it. Number 3. Breaking the silence with artwork. V spent so long being told to hold it all in that most of us don't even know there is another option. We think the only way to deal with our feelings is to bury them, drown them, or pretend they don't exist. And when that doesn't work, when the pressure builds too high and we finally snap, we tell ourselves it's proof we're just flawed, broken men. But that's bullshit. The truth is, no one tell us how to handle this stuff. They just told us to shut up about it. I want to talk about something most guys dismiss instantly when they hear the word art. Don't roll your eyes. Don't click away. Because I'm not talking about fancy museums or sipping wine while you paint flowers. I'm talking about survival. I'm talking about taking all the rage, confusion, grief, heartbreak, every feeling you were told to hide, and dragging it out of you with your own 2 hands. Art isn't about being soft, it's about being honest. It's about making something real from the chaos inside you. Think about it. Why do inmates tattoo their stories onto their skin? Why do soldiers keep journals in war zone? Why do men build, carve, write, sculpt, paint, even if no one ever sees it? It's not about impressing anyone. It's about getting it out, because the alternative is carrying it until it rots from the inside. Art is the one place you're allowed to say the things you can't say anywhere else. The raw truth no one wants. The truth you're even scared to admit to yourself. You don't have to show it to anyone. You don't have to share it with the world. Hell, you can burn it when you're... But the act of making it is what matters. It's a controlled demolition. Instead of letting your anger blow up your relation, you destroy it on canvas. Instead of drowning your sadness in a bottle, you pour it onto a page. Instead of scaring the people you love, you scare yourself a little and come out stronger for it. That's not a weakness. That's the definition of taking back control. If any of this makes sense to you, if there's even a tiny part of you that thinks I need this, tell me in the comment. Let's not pretend anymore. Let's talk about it. Drop a comment if you're tired of carrying shit you can't talk about. Because trust me, you're not the only one. And admitting you need a way to get it out, that's not a weakness. That's the first step to actually feeling free. Number 4. When life breaks you, you come home after the worst day you've had in months. Your boss talked down to you in front of everyone. You nodded, smiled, seething inside. Your partner texted back, one-word replies all day, and you felt that knot in your chest tighten. Your parents called and laid on the guilt about how you never visit. You're exhausted, humiliated, angry, sad, so much all at once. You can't even name it. But what do? You walk through the door, force a half smile, say, I'm fine, because that's the script. Even if you never do anything else, admitting that is the first step, because you're not the only one who's been there, not even close. Number 5, facing your true self. Let's get real here. Most of us are terrified of what might happen if we actually let ourselves feel everything we've buried. We're scared we'll lose it. That if we ever actually cry, we'd never stop. That if we admitted how angry we are, we'd break something we can't fix. That if we said how sad we really feel, everyone. So instead, we hold it in. We become experts at lying to everyone else and to ourselves. We say, I'm good, even when we're not sleeping at night. We say no worries when we're dying inside. We make jokes about shit that actually hurts us. We stay busy so we don't have to think. We work ourselves to death to avoid our own head. Because the truth is, we're not just scared of how other people will see us. We're scared of what we'll see in ourselves if we stop pretending for even a second. But here's what no one told you. You don't have to be afraid of your own emotion. They're not monsters, they're messages. Grief is proof you care. Anger is a sign something's wrong. Fear means you want to protect something. Sadness means something matters. They're human. You're not broken for feeling. You're broken when you try to feel nothing at all. Art is a way to face them safely. It's like turning the lights on in a room you were scared to enter. Yeah, maybe it's messy, maybe it's ugly, but you can see it. You can do something about it. You're not stumbling around in the dark anymore, smashing things by accident. That's what art gives you a way to see what's inside without being swallowed by it. Don't believe me? Prove me wrong in the comment. Tell me how you deal with it. Tell me if you think there's a better way. I want to hear it. Don't just lurk. This is the place where men actually talk about the shit we're not supposed to. Number 6, messy, raw, real. Let's kill this idea that art has to be beautiful, that it has to be good, that it has to impress anyone. Screw that. Real art is raw, it's messy, it's violent, it's honest. It doesn't ask permission, it doesn't apologize, it doesn't care if you're comfortable. That's the point. It's the place you put all the shit you can't say out loud. All the things that would scare the people you love if you said them to their faces. You want to know why so many men don't try? Because they're convinced they'll suck at it. Because they think I'm not creative. Because they think they'll look stupid. Who gives a damn? No one even has to see it. It's not for them, it's for you. It's the one place you can be exactly as fucked up, scared, angry, heartbroken as you really are. And no one can judge you for it. Think about it. The monsters you never name grow teeth in the dark. But the monsters you draw, you can see them, you can talk to them, you can laugh at them, you can learn. The nightmares you write about don't keep you up at night the same way. The rage you pour onto canvas doesn't end up in your partner's face. The heartbreak you sculpt doesn't sabotage your next relation. You don't need talent. You need honesty. You don't need to create something anyone will hang on a wall. You just need to get it out of. The ugliest art you make is still better than the perfect lie you keep telling yourself that you're fine. Because that lie is killing you slowly. Drop a comment if you've ever been too embarrassed to even try. If you've told yourself you're not an artist. Let's kill that lie here and now. This isn't about art, it's about survival. And you're allowed to survive in whatever messy, ugly way you need. Number 7, the hidden truth of men's emotion. Here's the truth most men never get told. You are emotion. Not in the cliche way people throw around to mock women. I mean in the very real, very human way that you feel things deeply, even if you don't admit it. You just learned to hide it better. You learned to convert it into something acceptable. Anger, that's allowed. Sadness, nope. Vulnerability, hell no. Grief, not unless you're drunk. We punish men for showing anything real. We call them weak. We call them soft. We tell them to suck it up. And you know what that creates? A generation of men who can't trust anyone, who don't know how to ask for help, who'd rather die than admit they're in pain. And it's not just hurting, it's hurting everyone around you. Art doesn't punish, it doesn't call you name, it doesn't shame you for crying, it doesn't laugh at you when you admit you're scared. It gives you a place to be exactly who be, with all your rage, all your grief, all your fear, all your hurt. And it doesn't tell you to shut up. It says, show me. That's how healing starts. By telling the truth, even if it's ugly, even if it's raw, even if it scares the shit. You can't fix what you refuse to face. You can't grow past what you won't admit is there. You can't be free if you're too busy performing for everyone. If you're sick of pretending, drop it in the comment. Tell me if you're done with the performing. Tell me if you're ready to actually be a whole human being. Because I want to see. I want to know there are other men out there who are done lying. Number 8. Vulnerability is strength. Live in a world where men are trained to see vulnerability as a weakness, as something that needs to be hidden, mocked, or crushed. We laugh it off. We say, I'm good, even when we're drowning. We compete over who cares less, who feels, who can bury more pain without flinching. And in the process, we build walls so high no one can climb, not even us. We lose the ability to even see ourselves honest. But here's the truth that most men never hear. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a connection. It's the only real way we ever know each other. When you make something real, when you write it, draw it, build it, you're sending up a flare in the dark. You're saying, I feel this, do you? And there's always someone out there who does. Someone who sees it and thinks, thank God, I'm not the only one. That's the start of something real. That's how men stop pretending and start living. Because how many times have you felt alone, even in a crowded room? How many times have you sat with friends, drinking, laughing, and known deep down that if you said how you really felt, they'd go silent, change the subject, or tease you so you'd shut up? We're all playing the same game, lying to each other's faces, because we think it's safer. But all it really does is make sure none of us ever feel truly known. That we all stay stuck behind masks we hate. And what art does, what creatine does, is rip those masks off. Even if it's just for yourself at first. It gives you a place to say what's unsayable, so you can finally see it, understand it, and maybe even share it one day with someone who needs to hear they're not alone. It's not about being artistic, it's about refusing to die with all your truth locked inside. It's about saying, this is who I am, this is what I feel, this is what I survive. Because someone out there is trying to survive the exact same thing, and they need proof it's possible, that it's survivable. When you're brave enough to create from your real experience, you're giving that proof. Even if no one ever sees it but you're proving it to yourself, that you're not just a collection of paychecks and tasks and obligations. You're a living, feeling, real human being. And that is worth something. And I know this isn't easy. It feels like you're breaking the rule. It feels like you're risking your entire reputation just to admit you're human. But let me ask you this, what's the alternative? Keep playing. Buy along until you don't recognize yourself. Keep nodding while everything you love gets destroyed because you're too scared to say what's real. That's not safe. That's a slow death, and you don't deserve that. No man does. If you've ever felt alone in a room full of people, tell me in the comment. If you've ever wanted to say what you really feel, but didn't know how to drop it here. This isn't a place for pretending. This is a place for men who are done lying, done performing, and ready to actually live. Don't just watch. Say something. Be seen. Number 9. Own your feeling. So tonight, when you feel that itch to numb out, when you reach for the bottle or lube, build yourself in hours of mindless scrolling, or turn on the TV just to hear noise so you don't have to listen to your own thought. I want you to do something different. I want you to sit with it for a second. Don't shove it down. Don't run. Let it ride. Let yourself feel pissed off. Let yourself feel sad, disappointed, scared. Whatever it is you've been burying so deep you can barely name it. Don't move past it so quickly you never even realize it's there. Because that's what we've been taught to pretend our emotions are. Inconvenient. No one's going to stand at your funeral and say, he was so good at hiding everything he felt. They'll just wish you'd been honest. They'll wish you'd let them in. They'll wish you hadn't been so afraid to just be real. Don't wait until you're out of time to figure that out. If any part of you is nodding along right now, even if you hate that you agree, drop a comment. Tell me you're in. Tell me you're willing to try. Don't keep this shit to yourself. Prove you're brave enough to say, yeah, I need this. Because trust me, you're not the only one who does. Let's hear it. Number 10. Breaking the sacrament. Men don't even realize they're repeating the exact same emotional patterns their fathers and grandfathers did. Not because they want to, but because no one ever showed them a different way. You grow up watching a man stay silent through everything. You watch him drink through his sadness, lash out when he's frustrated, walk away when emotions get messy, and you think that must be how it's done. And so you inherit it. Not just the silence, but the guilt, the shame, the fear of soft. And without even noticing, you carry it forward into your own life, into your relation, into your home, into your kids' life, if you have them. But deep down, something always feels off. Something in you knows this isn't right. You feel this pressure building every year, the pressure to be more than just a stoic provider, to actually live and feel and speak and grow. But you don't know how, because no one ever showed you. All you were ever taught was how to suppress, how to endure, how to bottle. So the idea of breaking that cycle feels like standing on the edge of a cliff with no map. But here's the thing, someone has to be the first. Someone has to be the one who says, this ends with me. You don't heal generational pain by pretending it never happened. You heal it by doing the uncomfortable work of turning toward it, of speaking what was never spoken in your family, of creating what no one before you had the space to express. Every time you pick up a pen instead of a drink, every time you rap instead of rage, every time you create instead of collapse, you are breaking the pattern. You are doing what the men before you were too hurt, too scared, or too numb to do. That makes you a threat to the silent. That makes you dangerous in the best possible. And I get it, this isn't glamorous. It's not something you can post on Instagram and get praise for. It's quiet, it's internal. It's invisible to everyone but you, but it changes everything. It rewires your brain. It softens the shell around your heart. It makes space for peace. It makes room for connection. You don't have to carry the pain that came before you forever. You don't have to pass it on to the people you love. You can actually change the story, but it starts with telling it. And art lets you do that without fear, without rule, without needing anyone's permission. If you were raised by a man who never showed emotion, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment. Tell me what it was like, or maybe you are that man right now. trying to figure out how to stop repeating what hurt you. Either way, say it. Start here. This is the moment where something different begins. Don't let it pass. Number 11. The power of creation. There's something almost magical about taking what's swirling inside. Those chaotic emotions you can't put into words and turning them into something real. It doesn't matter if it's a scratchy drawing, a few written lines, a song hummed quietly to yourself, or even pounding away at a workbench. When you create, you're doing more than just making something physical. You're giving form to your invisible struggle, your hopes, your fear. You're telling a story only you can tell. And in doing so, you claim a kind of power over what was once uncontrollable. It's a reminder that while you may not be able to change everything that's happened, you can decide what you do with it. For many men, this is a revelation. The idea that creation can be a form of strength, not softness, turns everything on its head. Society teaches us to hide, to bury, to fight alone. But when you channel that energy into something real, something you can see and touch, it changes the way you relate to yourself. It shifts from a place of survival to a place of expression, a place where your story is not a burden, but a badge of honor. Creating isn't about perfection or talent. It's about honesty. It's about facing yourself with courage and saying, this is who I am. This is what I've been through, and I'm still standing. Imagine the relief that comes from no longer carrying everything inside your head, no longer needing to fight the urge to explode or shut down. Instead, you have a way out, a release valve. When the world expects you to be silent, to swallow your pain, to pretend everything's fine, creation become your rebellion. It's the loudest, rawest, most authentic voice you have without saying a single word. And it doesn't just help you. It resonates with others who feel the same but don't have the. If you've ever tried to make something from your emotions, even if it felt awkward or incomplete, tell me in the comment. Share what it was like, how it made you feel. Because every time a man chooses creation over silence, it breaks the cycle. It opens a door. It lights a path for others to follow. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed or alone, remember this: the power isn't in hiding or numbing. The power is in making what's inside you visible. That's where real healing begins. Number 12. Conquering fear of judgment. 1 of the biggest barriers to expressing yourself through art or any form of honest creation is the fear of judgment. That voice inside your head telling you you're not good enough, that what you're feeling isn't worth sharing, or that others will laugh at you if you show your true self. It's the voice that keeps you locked behind walls of silence and perfection, convincing you to hide your pain, your anger, your vulnerability. But here's the brutal truth. Those fears are exactly what keep you stuck. They keep you isolated. They keep you carrying burdens that aren't meant to be carried alone. Imagine if the people you feared judgment from actually understood that you're messy. Raw expression is a sign of strength, not weakness. Imagine if they saw that your willingness put to be vulnerable, to the act of expression, whether through painting, writing, music, or even physical movement, forces you to slow down and confront what's really going on inside. It forces you to look at your emotions like they're real people standing in the room instead of shadows lurking in the dark. And that confrontation is where healing begins. When you say the truth of your experience, even if only to yourself on a page or a canvas, you start to make sense of the mess. You start to understand yourself better, to give your emotions space instead of letting them control you. This isn't about erasing the pain or pretending you're own. It's about learning to live it in a way that doesn't destroy you. It's about finding a way to carry the weight that doesn't break your back. It's about reclaiming your story and rewriting what it means to be a man who feels deep, who struggles, but who doesn't give up. This kind of healing takes courage, patience, and most important, honesty. If you're ready to stop running from your pain and start expressing it in a way that helps you heal, let me know in the comment. Share if you've ever found relief in making something real from your emotion, or if you're ready to try for the first time. This community is here to hold that space. Remember, healing isn't a destination, it's a journey. And every step you take toward honest expression is a victory worth celebrating. Number 14. Your story matters. At the end of the day, what you're really doing when you express your emotions through art is reclaiming your story and your truth. You're saying loud and clear that your experiences, your pain, your victory, and your struggles matter. Too often, men are taught their stories are insignificant, that they should swallow everything and just move on. But that silence doesn't make the pain disappear. It just buries it deeper. When you give yourself permission to create, to share, even if only with yourself, you break that silence. You remind yourself that your life has meaning beyond the role, play, or the masks you wear. Your story is a map that can guide you out of the darkness. It's a way to understand where you've been and where you want to go. And when you put it out there, even in the rawest, most imperfect form, you give others the courage to face their own story. You create connection where there was isolation. You build bridges over the gaps that fear and shame have carved between men for generations. This is why your voice, your expression, your art, no matter how small or hidden it feels, has power. It matters more than you realize, because healing and strength don't come from being perfect. They come from being real, from being seen, from owning your story and refusing to let it be silent. If you're listening to this and something inside you is stirring, something that wants to create, to express, to be heard, I want you to drop a comment. Tell me what your story is, or what you've been afraid to say, because this is a space where you can be real without judgment, where men like you are stepping into their full self, flaws and all. Your story matters, your voice matters, your feelings matter, and the world needs you to share them. Don't let silence be your lip. Be the man who breaks the cycle. Be the man who creates. Be the man who lives honestly and fully. If you're done hiding your pain and ready to take it back, drop a comment, because real strength starts with being real.